It all started with the 2025 WNBA Finals, a showdown that was supposed to represent a new era for the league. The Las Vegas Aces faced off against the Phoenix Mercury, featuring some of the league's biggest names. Aya Wilson was promoted as the face of the WNBA, while Diana Taurasi's possible farewell tour was supposed to draw in nostalgia-driven fans. The storylines were there, the talent was there, but the one thing missing was Caitlin Clark, and that absence turned out to be catastrophic. Despite ESPN's massive marketing push and Nielsen's new, enhanced tracking system, which now counts streaming, smart TVs, and even bar viewings, the finals still crashed harder than anyone could have predicted. Game 1 opened at 1.9 million viewers, which sounded fine on paper, until Game 2 dropped to just 1.2 million. That's 700,000 people who watched once and didn't bother tuning in again. Game 3 crawled back to 1.3 million, and the closing Game 4 limped in at 1.44 million. Compare that to the 2024 finals, when Clark's Indiana Fever drew over 2.2 million viewers at the peak. That's what real momentum looks like. Growth, not decline. The WNBA's 2025 finals didn't just fail to hold an audience. It actively lost them with each game. Yet somehow, ESPN tried to frame the situation as progress. They boasted about a supposed 5% increase in average viewership, conveniently leaving out how that figure was calculated. What they didn't mention is that their new metrics, designed to inflate totals, make it impossible to compare to past seasons honestly. In simple terms, they changed the camera lens, then bragged about a clearer picture. Sports Media Watch called it out immediately, labeling ESPN's reporting mathematically meaningless. If the 2024 season had been measured under the same system, the numbers would have blown 2025 out of the water. Behind the scenes, it became clear what was really going on. ESPN's public relations team took over ratings communication entirely, cutting off independent analysts and journalists who had traditionally received real-time data. Suddenly, the usual TV ratings insiders stopped posting WNBA figures. Reports were delayed for days, sometimes weeks, until ESPN could spin them into something positive. When numbers were too disastrous to disguise, they were simply omitted. What was once sports journalism had turned into propaganda, a coordinated campaign to protect a crumbling narrative that the league was thriving. It's easy to see why they panicked. The WNBA's newfound momentum in 2024 wasn't organic. It was Caitlin Clark. Her arrival turned casual viewers into die-hard fans, drove historic ticket sales, and brought unprecedented national attention to women's basketball. She wasn't just an athlete, she was a cultural event. When she went down with her ankle injury early in 2025, the league's facade of sustainable growth collapsed. The ratings didn't dip, they fell off a cliff. ESPN tried everything to fill the void. They doubled down on Aya Wilson's stardom, rolled out glossy feature stories, produced behind-the-scenes specials, and flooded social media with promotional clips. But nothing stuck. The viewers who came for Clark weren't interested in a league pretending she didn't exist. When she wasn't on the court, millions tuned out. The WNBA without Caitlin Clark is like the NBA without Michael Jordan in the 90s. Technically still functioning, but spiritually empty. And yet, the cover-up deepened. Internal sources claim that ESPN executives have been massaging the numbers not just to protect the league's image, but to save their own investments. The network poured tens of millions into broadcast rights under the assumption that Clark's momentum would continue indefinitely. They promised advertisers exponential growth. They convinced sponsors that women's basketball was finally on the verge of breaking through. But when those sponsors started asking for postseason analytics, what they saw terrified them. ROI wasn't just down, it had imploded. Primetime WNBA games were pulling lower numbers than college reruns, and advertisers began looking for exit clauses in their contracts. The league's collapse in ratings wasn't limited to the finals. The 2025 semifinals averaged under 900,000 viewers, with some games dipping as low as 600,000. That's pre-Clark territory, numbers the league hasn't seen since before her debut. Arena attendance followed suit. Sections that were packed in 2024 were suddenly half-empty. Merchandise sales cratered, and social media engagement evaporated. Even the 2025 All-Star Game, a marquee event that had been heavily marketed as a Clark-free showcase of WNBA depth, was a ratings disaster. What's worse is how obvious the manipulation has become. When the NFL drops 5%, it's front-page news. When NBA viewership slips, analysts dissect it for weeks. But when the WNBA loses over 1 million viewers, silence. No think pieces. No honest discussions. Just vague press releases about record social engagement and strong demographics. Yet industry insiders say the key demographic, 18 to 34-year-olds, the same fans Caitlyn brought in, has almost completely vanished. The only viewers sticking around are the long-time loyalists, which means the league has reverted to its pre-Clark baseline. That's not progress. That's regression dressed up in PR spin. Meanwhile, the proof of where the audience went is everywhere. A simple photo of Clark in rehab or an update on her recovery outperforms entire playoff highlight reels. Her name trends every time she's spotted at a practice facility. She's not even playing, and she's still driving more engagement than the finals. This isn't a coincidence. It's a reflection of who really moves the needle. Behind closed doors, panic is setting in. ESPN executives are reportedly scrambling for contingency plans in case Clark's injury keeps her sidelined longer than expected. They know she's the league's golden ticket, the singular reason casual fans care. Without her, they have no storyline, no marketing hook, and no ratings bump. Every broadcast update about her ankle is treated like breaking news because, deep down, they know she's the only story that matters. It's ironic. The same media figures who once downplayed her importance, who insisted the league's success wasn't built on one player, are now desperate for her return. They mocked the idea that one rookie could transform women's basketball. They accused her supporters of being casuals. But now that she's gone, the numbers tell the story better than any headline could. Caitlyn Clark wasn't just part of the WNBA's growth, she was the growth. Even international interest has collapsed. In 2024, fans in Europe, Asia, and Australia stayed up late or woke up early just to watch her games live. This year, that global buzz has vanished. Streaming numbers are down worldwide, and the WNBA's international push has lost steam. The league went from global curiosity to domestic afterthought in less than a season. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert keeps insisting that competitive balance and depth are the league's strengths, but fans aren't buying it. Parity doesn't sell tickets. Stars do. You can have the most competitive league in the world, but if no one's watching, it doesn't matter. The WNBA had lightning in a bottle with Caitlyn Clark, and instead of protecting it, they spent a year pretending they didn't need it. Now they're realizing too late that she was the engine powering the whole system. The WNBA's 2025 finals will go down as the moment the illusion broke. All the talk about sustainable growth, parity, and the new era of women's basketball was exposed as wishful thinking. The league's survival depends on the return of its only transcendent star, and ESPN's reputation has been shredded for trying to cover up the truth. The numbers don't lie. The audience that made 2024 historic didn't disappear. They're just waiting for Caitlyn Clark to come back. So what happens next? Will the league finally embrace reality and rebuild around the one player who made it relevant again? Or will it keep pretending everything's fine while the foundation crumbles beneath them? Drop your thoughts below. Do you think the WNBA can recover from this disaster? And if you believe the truth always finds a way to break through, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because when Caitlyn Clark returns, the whole world will be watching, and this story is far from over.